Hi, and thank you so much for joining me again. And today's video is a process video for September 2022. It's day 14 and the prompt is mixed media. Now normally when I'm using mixed media I tend to reach for my Distress Oxide inks or some stitching and things like that, so I thought I'd take a different tack this time and I'm going for acrylic paint. And I've seen this on paper ranges through the years where you have an ombre effect stripe up a paper, so I thought I would do the same with my acrylic paint. So it's just a cheap acrylic paint that I bought in one of the cheap box stores here in the UK, and I did the first stripe with the paint neat, and then each stripe after that I'm adding a bit more white acrylic paint to lighten the colour. So I'll leave you to watch me creating those stripes. And now those stripes are dry, I'm going to turn my attention to the photos, and it's two photos of my children when we went to the Ulster Folk and Transport Museum back in 2013. My father-in-law lives in Northern Ireland and this is very local to him, so it was a really lovely day out. Highly recommend it if you ever go over to Northern Ireland. So I've trimmed the photos down slightly and I'm just matting them on cheap white card, and then once that's done and the edges are distressed I shall go ahead and mat it onto a piece of 49er market paper in the blues, and because I've trimmed the photos down slightly, both photos will fit onto one piece of paper, which is very satisfying. So I'm only using one of the 6x8 papers and I have some pieces left over. Nothing goes to waste here. If you watched me before you'll know that. And now that I've matted those photos onto the 6x8 paper, I'm going to go ahead and mat those onto some of the remnants out of the remnants paper pack. So I've chosen this sage green one here, which goes nicely with the sage green paint that I put down on the paper, and then I'll mat the other piece on more of a teal colour. And now that's sorted, it's just a case of going through the ephemera from the 49er Market collection from the teal colourway and Tidal Wave, and choosing some bits to layer up and around these photos. You'll see just above the layout there, I've got some die cuts which I did using my die cutting machine and a new die that I bought myself, just a generic die with some leaves and berries on. So I thought they might be nice in white to stand out around these because they're outdoorsy photos. And I'm happy with the placement and how this is all starting to build up, so I decided it's time to start sticking things down before I go too far. So I'll just peel things back and add the adhesive so that things stay in place. So starting with this notebook piece, that was from the laser cut pieces, then this tag, I think that was from the ephemera pack. I forget now because I amalgamated them all a while ago as I was using things up. And then I'll stick the photo down. And I wanted this one to be the dominant photo because it's a picture of the full hut. But you'll see when I stick this one down, I just stick it straight on top. It's not critical. I was just a bit annoyed with myself when I saw that I'd done that, but it still looks nice. You can still see exactly what it is. The one that's on top is just a close-up of the kids inside. So I'm just going to raise the bottom part of this phrase ephemera up onto foam because there's quite a lot of layering there with the photos and the photo mats. It would have been quite lopsided had I not done this, so you'll see it looks nice and straight now that I've done that. And the butterfly, I'm going to stick one wing down fully and the other wing pop up on some foam just to give dimension again. That tag would eventually have the date stamped onto it, but not yet. So now I'm just going to go through some other bits that I pulled out, which the colours will work on this layout from. These are very old stash from when I used to scrapbook before I had a long hiatus. I love these stickers. I think they're from Lily Bee. I really enjoyed that company. They're sadly gone a long time now, but these word stickers are fantastic. So I put one up the top that says play, and then I've got one that says memories and one that says my sunshine. That's not their final resting place. I do move them around after. Next, some old Ellie Studio cut aparts. So just going for the teal blue label there, which I'll try in a few places, but it ends up at the bottom of the layout and creates a nice layer in that bottom left hand corner. And next, adding this label cut apart from the same Ellie Studio sheet. I like that it's got the cream on it, which I've got in those Lily Bee stickers as well, so it's just bringing more of that into the picture, and that works lovely with the building that the kids are playing around. And as I mentioned, I wasn't quite happy with the way I put those phrase stickers. So the one that says my sunshine, I've decided to put a frame around. So just playing about with exactly where to put that on the layout. I try a few different places, but eventually it gets added to that cluster in the bottom left hand corner, just where I'm putting it now. And then once I've glued it down, I struggled to get the sticker in place. I really should have put the sticker down first before putting the frame down, but I never like to make life easy for myself, clearly. So I move that word sticker up to the top underneath that butterfly that says memories, and I really like the positioning of that. And then I'll go in and build up a bit more on that cluster in the bottom left hand corner. So this circle works really nicely underneath that Silly Good Times. So just trying to lift up the foam that's Silly Good Fun, sorry, is stuck on before I can stick that down. And then again, looking through what else I've got. Here's an old sheet of Jenny Bolin stickers. Put that to one side and go on to the LE Studio camera ones. This puffy sticker says photo op, which is very apt, so that goes down there. And then one of the black cameras sits in that circle, and that just finishes that cluster off nicely for me. So adding, as I say, adding the date stamp to that tag. I quite often do this on my layouts. It's good when you have a routine like this when you're doing layouts, so that you know exactly where to look for the date if you're interested in that sort of thing. Now building up a smaller cluster on the right hand side here, just to balance out that larger one on the left hand side. So I love this laser cut lace, so just adding a piece of that and bringing it outside the box that I've created with the paint at the beginning. Just gluing that down and then adding this postage stamp. Now these are old Studio Calico stickers from years ago, and I just pull out the blues or the teals on this and add a couple of them. The paler one just says hello, and then you've got that little star. And I want to bring in a bit more black because I've got the black on the camera. So I pull out one of the puffy hearts from LE Studio, and then one of the stars from the Jenny Bolin sticker sheet. And now I'm going to add my title. So I've pulled out these Jelly Bean Soup alphabet stickers again. I love these because they're a really nice size when you've got quite a long title. So my title is Ulster Folk and Transport Museum, which is where we were. So Ulster Folk and Transport goes along the top, and then I just add the word museum across the bottom. So just play about with another one of these leaf sprigs to see if that's going to work in that corner, because I know I want something else, but I'm just not happy with it. It's either covering things up or not poking in the right direction for me. So try a few and then just pull it off. That can go on another layout in the future. So now looking through my box of tricks to see what else I've got there, and I come across this chipboard circle, and that's just perfect to add to that little cluster there. I think it finishes it off really neatly. So now going through and having a look at what else I've got, and I see these Amy Tangerine half felt balls, which I've had in my stash for years, and there are the teal blue and the cream ones, so just add a couple of those. Again, it just adds texture and interest to the layout. They don't need to be there, but it's nice to be using very old stash up. So using some teal cotton to thread the tag, and I just tie that in a bow at the top. Not brilliant at doing bows, but it looks okay. And that's the layout pretty much done. I'm going to go in with some black acrylic paint splatters. I just water it down and splat those around the edge of the page. And then once the black's down, I decide to balance it out with some white as well. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how this has turned out. I shall definitely do that again on the background, using different colours of acrylic paint to create my mat. And probably next time I'll just use one photo so that more of the paint shows, because it is hidden a little bit. But nevertheless, I'm very happy with it. So do pop down to the description box and check out the playlist to see what other people have been creating using today's prompt. I can't wait to see all the different interpretations of mixed media. It's great fun to see what people do. Some people just do a tiny bit, which is fine, and some people go all out and make the most of using mixed media on their layout, which I'm very envious of because I can't go that far. But thank you so much for joining me. Do subscribe if you enjoy watching my videos, and I shall see you again tomorrow for a new prompt. Thanks so much. Bye.